Ed Shames was one of the last surviving members of Easy Company, passing away in December 2021, aged 99. In 2014, Shames was extensively interviewed, and as his mind was still as sharp as a tack, he provided some wonderful insights into Easy Company, and provided some rather humorous stories of the other members of the 506th. I thought I would share some of his more interesting recollections, as I got a good laugh out of them. Ed started off in I Company, 3rd Battalion, where he was promoted to NCO. A week after D-Day, on June 13th, he received a battlefield commission. He was the first NCO from the 3rd Battalion to receive a commission in France. Usually officers commissioned in the field are transferred out of the division, but Colonel Sink, with General Taylor's blessing, kept Shames around and instead moved him to 2nd Battalion Headquarters Company. He was initially sent to assist the Battalion S3, who just happened to be one Lieutenant Lewis Nixon. Of Nixon, Shames described him as the worst drunk in the history of the United States military. After picking him up off the floor 3 or 4 times, he stated, "My mother did not raise me to be a nursemaid to a drunk." Shames went to see the 2nd Battalion CO, Colonel Robert Strayer, to request a transfer, and was thrown out of his office. "I need you there," was his only reply. After working with Nixon for a few more days, he decided he would go over Strayer's head and went to see Colonel Sink, whose adjutant asked him if he was crazy. As Shames had not gone through normal channels and already been rejected by his commanding officer, this could only mean trouble. When I entered Sink's office, I stood at attention and announced my presence. He looked up and said, "What the hell do you want, Shames?" "Sir, I would like to be transferred from my assignment with Battalion Intelligence and placed in a line company." He asked if I had the permission of Colonel Strayer. "No, sir, he threw me out of his office." "Why?" "I think he has it in for me, sir. I caught him going the wrong way at Bloody Gulch. I had grabbed him by the arm, not knowing who he was, and had said, 'Sir, the fighting is in that direction.' I was implying that Strayer was a yellow SOB. Sink told me to go back to the adjutant's office while he would think what to do with me. I noticed that Sink had been drinking, so he could be unpredictable. A couple of minutes later, the phone rings, and the adjutant tells me Sink wants to see you again. I went back in there and snapped to attention before going to parade rest. "Damn it, Shames, I didn't give you permission to go to parade rest," he shouted. He had had another drink in the few minutes since I'd left. He said, "Shames, you think you're the meanest bastard in this outfit, don't you?" "No, sir, but I think I'm the toughest SOB in the 506th. Sink went on to appoint Shames the leader of a regimental patrol platoon just prior to the 101st leaving France. Back in England, he was transferred to assistant leader of Easy Company's 3rd Platoon. In Holland during Operation Market Garden, Shames participated in the evacuation of the British Red Devils from near Arnhem across the Rhine River. He remembered 4 American flyers who were also with the group. After the Dutch campaign, Shames was given 3 days leave in Paris. On the 17th December, he set off with a convoy of trucks, of which he was the ranking officer. "We were already well-oiled on the cheap champagne we had bought in Reims," he said. "We would swap cigarettes for booze with the French." 70 miles from Paris, the truck driver notified Shames that a military police jeep was following the truck. "What should I do?" the driver asked. "The hell with him, keep on to Paris," Shames replied. "But he's a captain," the driver stated. "Well, then you'd better pull over." The captain ordered Shames to turn the truck around and head back to Reims. "You have been alerted," he said. I asked why would they send a captain to inform me of that. "Colonel Sink," the MP replied, "told me that you would not come back if they sent a lieutenant." This was, of course, the start of the Battle of the Bulge. Shames recalled that during a supply drop, Sergeant Earl, one Lung McClung, had delivered a package to him. "Good," I thought, recalled Shames. "A pair of gloves or a wool scarf?" I opened it up and it was a fountain pen from a girl back home, just what I needed at 7 degrees below zero. I threw the pen in the snow. A couple of hours later, Rod Stroll came wandering over with this damn pen. "Look at the writing," he said. "It's my name," I replied. "I still don't want it. Look at the other writing, 14-karat gold." I took the pen and put it in my pocket. I still have it. During the battle around Bastogne, Shames's platoon captured German infiltrators wearing American uniforms. There was a group of 7 men who refused to talk. After finding out who the leader was, he was executed, in part because he was dressed in one of our uniforms, and also because we needed the rest to talk. They sang like canaries after that. We stayed in foxholes for a total of 29 miserable days. Nobody lived under tents, not even the battalion staff. The time spent at Hagenau was relatively uneventful for Shames. His next recollection comes from the time spent at Landsberg, which was discovered by the U.S. 12th Armored Division on April 27, 1945. The 101st Airborne arrived the next day. Shames correctly stated that the camp was not liberated as the German guards had already left. Landsberg, or Kaufering 1, was part of an 11 sub-camp complex attached to Dachau. It was also where Hitler was held for 9 months in 1924. According to Shames, he would have ordered his platoon to dispatch any Germans very quickly if found on the site. E Company's time spent at Landsberg is well known thanks to the series, but several men, including Shames, also entered the Dachau facility. It was far worse than anything we saw at the other camp, Shames recalled. A few days later they arrived at Berchtesgaden. Shames claims that Easy Company, and in particular his 3rd platoon, were the first ones up there. We looted everything we could, he recalled, but mostly Hitler's silverware. He also personally took a bottle of cognac labeled for Hitler's use only. Regiment later made the men turn over any looted items with the threat of a delay in them going home if they didn't comply. Colonel Sink gathered up all of the silver and had an expert silversmith smelt it down and make goblets for all of the original officers of the 506. Shames also kept the bottle of cognac, which he broke open at his son's 13th bar mitzvah. Sometime after finishing the cognac and throwing the bottle away, he was made aware that it was worth around $10,000. Following the occupation of Austria, the regiment was relocated back to France at Bonny-Doon, where the war came to an end in the Pacific. Shames decided that he was going to visit Paris before he was shipped back home, but did not have a pass to do so. He told his assistant platoon leader that his 14 German pistols, including Field Marshal Kesselring's personal sidearm, would be his pass. When he reached Paris, he bribed one of the hotel clerks with a couple of the pistols. His first stop after cleaning up was a visit to the California Hotel, where we was told the nurses hung out. I got to the bar and ordered a martini, Shames said. I turned around and what do I see? Colonel Sink himself with drink in hand. I went over to say hello, and as he looked at me in total confusion, he barked, "What the hell are you doing here?" "I am AWOL, sir." He told me I was due to catch a train to Marseille in order to ship back to the States. "Get back there or you will miss the train." How would I get back to where the company was stationed? I looked around for Sink's personal driver, a man named Scotty who had served with me in I Company at the start of the war. After initially rejecting Shames' request to be driven the 90 miles back to Bonny-Doon to join the company, the offer of 3 German pistols was enough to persuade the man. In a couple of days, Ed Shames was on his way home. As for the girl who sent the gold pen, Shames visited her on his return, but she had become engaged to a naval officer who was still on active duty. He stayed friendly with this girl who eventually became his wife of more than 70 years. "At least something good came out of Bastogne," Shames said with a smile. Thanks for watching. If you have a thought on Ed Shames and any of these stories, drop a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, please help the channel out by giving it a like.